Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I thought I would pull into the Divine Masculine Collective. I've had confirmation of many towers kind of crumbling to the ground when it comes to these karmic contracts. So I thought I would jump in and see what kind of a message needs to come through for the Divine Masculine in the energies. We've had some very potent eclipse energies with the moon and Sag. I feel a lot of higher ascension energies, a lot of light codes, a lot of states of transcendence. So I thought I would pull in and grab a current energy reading into the Divine Masculine Collective. Look at that, bottom of the deck, King. So I kind of feel there's this rebalancing when it comes to the masculine's excessive feelings of entitlement versus stepping into enlightenment and benevolent leadership. So I feel the masculine's facing all kinds of restraints in the energies when it comes to rising above, and I don't think the masculine has the ability to defend himself against all of these negative, dark, karmic forces. So I kind of feel this redemption energy coming through, a need to redeem themselves when it comes to all of this karmic baggage, going through a level of purification. So I feel a lot of challenges. I feel rejection in the energies. I feel a lot of rejection of the karmic peer pressure and preparing to affect some big changes, some social changes. So let's keep going here and see what else needs to come through with the archetype deck today. I was asked to grab the archetype deck. We're going to grab in with some of the illumination oracle messages. We'll grab some spiritual journey messages, and we'll get some hidden divine masculine messages. See what he'd like to say to you, divine feminine. So I kind of feel when it comes to their misuse of power and all of these selfish ends that they've played into really has created this false sense of entitlement. And I feel a lot of vulnerability in the energies when it comes to transcending this karmic baggage. So I feel a lot of development when it comes to the masculine embracing his personal willpower, his strength of spirit. And I feel some exposure recently has come out when it comes to the falsified information that was spread around about the divine feminine. A lot of these divine masculines played into the gossip, the drama, the spreading of the gossip, all of these falsehoods about the divine feminine. And I feel there's been a revelation when it comes to the karmic's personal gain with all of these lies and slander about the divine feminine. So the energy I feel is really enhancing this unity consciousness and the need for the masculine to have this awareness and to go deep into some empathic energies when it comes to seeking that resolution. So I do feel a lot of strength and skills are being restored. The masculine is being asked to utilize self-discipline in the energies and to release this stoic attitude, this self-sacrificing energy, and I feel really conquering the lower ego. So a lot of these masculines trade their ethical principles for victory at any cost, and I feel it definitely has cost them. And a lot of these masculines have had such an indifference to the suffering inflicted on the divine feminine and any children that have been involved in this karmic wreckage. So I kind of feel this delusional energy sifting through all of these delusions. It is like divine rapture coming in when it comes to this intimate union that the twins share. So let's get 3 cards with the archetype deck. Seeker, beautiful. I wasn't ready for that, but we're going to take it. So a lot of these masculines, it's feeling like the Fool, to be honest, because all he's got is like a backpack on his back, and he's got his walking stick, and he's kind of going into the sunset. So, and then we got the prostitute energy. So a lot of these karmics were all about material considerations and material security above anything else, and that really has hampered the divine masculine's ability to embrace self-empowerment. So along with his inability to commit to the spiritual path and all of these material structures, I feel all of that has kind of fallen to the ground, and the energy is accentuating all of these challenges of survival. And I feel the masculine can no longer negotiate the power of his spirit when it comes to these material aspects. So it's almost like the masculine sold himself to the devil for lustful temptation, money, lust, sex, power, and greed. So I do feel like this deep thirst for wisdom and truth right now in the energies. And there's that rebellion energy, that Aquarian energy, beautiful, bottom of the deck, Avenger. So that's my Libra energy. That is, you know, restoring the balance. And I feel a lot of these karmics are going to resort to violent emotional outbursts when it comes to clinging to control. But I feel the masculine deeply desires to balance the scales of justice. And that did come through in the daily message, in the energies that I channeled. Seeking justice at any cost. So the self-righteous attitude, I feel, really is falling away when it comes to the masculine rebelling. So I do feel, you know, in the past, the masculine rejected all of his spiritual systems and rejected the path with the divine feminine. And now I feel he's very angry. He fell victim to all of this peer pressure with the false social circle. And I feel rebelling, rejecting that entire social structure when it comes to the masculine releasing this very selfish energy of only serving his own needs. So I do feel a lot of changes in the energy. There is this need of breaking free and rebelling, and there's that gossip that I talked about. So a lot of these karmics thrive on drama and gossip and passing on private or secret information, lies, and a lot of these karmics have betrayed the confidence of the masculine, along with many people in that social structure. A lot of these Jezebel spirits kind of infiltrate the divine masculine's world, that entire group of friends, and it's like they talk about this person, they talk about that person, and they're like these two-faced people where they're your best friend face to face, and then behind your back they're sharing all of your secrets, all of your drama with the other friends. And it's like this big conflicting energy where they're all kind of being pit against each other. So I feel that thriving on drama, gossip, slander, defamation of character has all come to light. And the masculine is awakening to just how distorted that karmic Jezebel spirit is when it comes to the lack of consideration for the damage done on this journey to the divine feminine. And so I feel the masculine is feeling very dishonored right now, because I feel he put a lot of his trust in that karmic energy, and there's a lot of betrayal. And all of this is stemming around that father wound. So a lot of these masculines, and I'm being shown the Emperor reversed, they abused their authority in a past life. They were dictatorial, they were controlling, they were very egoic. And this is the lifetime that they release that lower ego. They tap into their spiritual talents of co-creation when it comes to supporting new life forms, is what I'm feeling. So I feel the feminine's been this positive guiding light when it comes to this tribal unit that we're here to bring together. And now the masculine is being asked to step into that leadership role, to release all of those pleasures. He pursued all of these pleasures to the detriment of not only his health, but all of the emotional damage done at the expense of others. And I feel a lot of new creative energy when it comes to the masculine coming forward and celebrating the beauty of the divine feminine and embracing the finer things in life with the divine feminine. So I feel a lot of deep spiritual knowledge is coming forward that the masculines actually do possess. And I kind of feel they have been alerted to all of this karmic danger around them. All of these superficial people, superficial pursuits, it's kind of all come to the forefront. So I think get ready for the masculine to be showing up anytime now to fix what's broken. I think he's finding his determination to come forward with that open-hearted emotional intimacy, because I feel he does need some help right now. And I think he's been withholding because he's been playing into all of these addictive, unhealthy patterns, playing into the pride and the ego. And I feel everything is kind of spiraling out of control because that karmic contract is over. It's definitely over. And this is where the masculine, has to go into all of these repressed emotions. And I do feel he has completely walked away from that attachment, realizing that it was never true love. It was just an attachment to keep him from embracing this emotional vulnerability with the divine feminine. So at that eclipse, some big changes kind of came in with a vengeance. And I feel that double loyalty has been nipped in the butt, and that big karmic abominable snowman, I'm going to say, I don't know where that's coming from. But, you know, this great big karmic block in between the twins when it comes to this loyalty. And that karmic's been holding on for dear life. I think she's about to get a rude awakening when it comes to these soulmate unions. So a lot of emotional vulnerability. I do feel a lot of the masculines are obsessed. I think they're spying on you. They're watching your social media, quite possibly driving past your house to see what you have been up to. I think they're looking for information to see if you met somebody new. How do I approach? I think a lot of these masculines know that a phone call is not going to do it, that a text message is not going to do it at this point in time, that it's going to take that face-to-face. And I think they're really trying to find their stamina and their determination to come forward for that face-to-face. And they see you as this guiding light, as this lighthouse, and they know they kind of need to ask you for that assistance. So a lot of unhealthy patterns, a lot of addictive patterns, and this withholding, this ghosting as a form of emotional manipulation, I feel, has kind of come full circle. So let's get a few more messages and see what else needs to come through. But I do feel they're coming into this deep understanding of what an attachment is. And I kind of feel they know that you are waiting on them. But I also feel a lot of the masculines are waiting for you to reach out to kind of see if you're still interested. But I feel a lot of the feminines are done. We're done reaching out. I know many of us extend that olive branch many times over throughout the separation journey. And we're always met with disappointment, sadness, and loss. So I feel, yeah, they're definitely waiting for you to kind of extend another olive branch because they're not feeling worthy. They're not feeling good enough. They're dealing with all kinds of self-worth issues, inadequacy issues. They fear rejection. But I'm going to tell you this, Divine Feminine, I would not be extending an olive branch. This is their karmic lesson to learn when it comes to overcoming any fear of rejection. And if they truly want this heart healing, they're going to have to get back on track and to kind of do the work to fix what's broken. They're going to have to reach out and find their determination. I feel this fear of rejection has gone on for a very long time, and I feel the inadequacy issues have been fed by the karmic, because the karmic fed the masculine's pride and ego. And they also are the ones kind of tearing the masculine down as he goes through this spiraling tower of all kinds of challenges and breakdowns. I feel huge emotional mental breakdown as the sun kind of sets on that karmic contract. And I feel all of these unhealthy habits, addictive behaviors, everything's been stripped away from the masculine, and he can no longer withhold these repressed emotions. I feel a huge burst of emotions, and the masculine is walking away from that very toxic attachment. So I do feel they want to get back on track. They see clearly that you are their hopes and their wishes, but there needs to be a huge release before the masculine can approach. So I also feel a lot of the masculines are, you know, making up stories in their head, in their mind space, as they go through these obsessive thought patterns. And I think they fear the divine feminine has met somebody new. And so I do feel like this quickening of this wanting to rush in to rebalance this situation. If you remember the loyalty card, there was the two loyal dogs and that big chunky snowman in the middle, right? And so there's that karmic entity in the middle trying to create these blocks from this rebalancing. So I also feel a lot of the masculines have tapped in to their spiritual guides, their angelic team, their ancestors on the other side. And I feel grieving the loss of a passed over loved one as well as part of this rebalancing. So I know they're waiting on us to extend that olive branch, but like I said, this is their lesson to learn of self-worth, fear of rejection. I know many of the feminines have already laid their heart on the table, and we had to go through that rejection and learn that karmic lesson of inadequacy, self-worth, self-value. And we kind of had to pick ourselves up from rock bottom while the masculine abandoned us for this third party energy. So I feel huge ego demise when it comes to this heart healing. And it's like they're this newborn baby seeking that mothering energy, but they really got to learn how to kind of mother themselves first is what I'm feeling. And they kind of got to purge all of this heaviness on the heart before they are going to be allowed to kind of come forward. So yeah, there's that fear. There's that fear. And, you know, fear monster, it is such an illusion to play into that fear, because anything that is meant for us is never going to be turned away from us. So he's facing these fears, these illusions of the mind of not being worthy, going to be rejected. I think playing through all of these scenarios, and he's not really going to know what's on the other side until he comes forward and fixes the brokenness. So I feel he's kind of being asked to face his fear and to surrender the ego at this point in time. And he has to surrender the ego in order to embrace these high frequency light codes that are flowing in at massive rates. So I feel the divine has a powerful agenda, and the masculine is definitely experiencing all kinds of negative manifestations, ascension symptoms, a lot of emotions coming up, creating almost like a physicality, trauma reaction is what I'm feeling. Tons of mental stimulus. And I feel the masculine's just really up in the head space, really spiraling in the mind space. So we're just going to get 3 cards with this deck today, guys. And then we are going to jump in with some tarot. Journey to fulfillment, divine feminine, purge and cleanse. And that's exactly what I said. If the masculine is to journey towards fulfillment with the divine feminine, he's going to have to purge and cleanse all of these low vibration people, places, and things, addictive behaviors, obsessive thought patterns. So a lot of these masculines allowed the karmic to influence them in the wrong direction, along with that whole social circle. And so now the masculine kind of needs to take charge of his destiny and to head towards the divine feminine. And the divine feminine's intuition is on point right now. Our ability to nurture and heal ourselves is what is making us magnetically attractive. And the masculine is really hoping that, you know, you'll have that patience to still show him a bit of gentleness and compassion when he comes forward. So a lot is being purged, a lot is being eclipsed, and we're definitely in this breakthrough energy. So major transformation taking place in the masculine collective when it comes to the divine feminine's hard work and perseverance finally paying off. So spending a little bit of time alone in quiet introspection, disconnecting, purging the mind, the body, and the soul when it comes to allowing things just being the way they are right now. So I feel get ready for a lot of heightened telepathic communication, a lot of 5D interaction lately. And so we've all been sensing this. We've all been feeling these masculines getting these towers, these shifts below the surface. We're absolutely right, divine feminine. So I feel a major lesson in nourishing the mind, the body, and the soul. I think a lot of these masculines are learning to mother themselves properly and to honor the sacredness of this soul connection. So, you know, that karmic catalyst definitely did their job. It was their job to break down the masculine's ego. It was meant to be a short-term contract. It was not a lifetime partnership. And so I do feel that short-term contract has completely expired for the masculine to step into long-term life partnership with the divine feminine and seeking out that true soul tribe. Because a lot of these masculines are depleted, stuck and stagnant, and it's that final release of the ego. So let's grab some tarot. I think I'm going to grab the steampunk deck is what it is. So there's that King of Wands and the Fool. Oh my God. And the World. Okay, with the Queen of Pentacles. And then there's that Tower. So I think get ready for an unexpected arrival is kind of what I'm feeling. I do feel the masculine's feeling like a fool. This King of Wands kind of isn't really sitting on his throne. He's kind of still hiding behind, you know, that chair. So he's still kind of hiding himself is what I'm feeling. Very cautionary, kind of taking a peek when it comes to taking that leap of faith and closing out this cycle. So major cycles for sure closing out. And the masculine is receiving those third eye visions. The King of Wands is that visionary leader, but he doesn't look very determined to take any action right now. And he's definitely not sitting on his rightful throne. So there's a need to take that leap of faith. And I feel, you know, a lot of stormy emotions. I kind of feel like he's feeling like trapped in like this spiraling energy of all of these stormy emotions. And I do feel like huge tower, breakdown of beliefs. And that Queen of Pentacles too is that mothering energy that the masculine needs to embrace. I also feel that's the feminine, grounded, stable, solid. A lot of the divine feminines were single mothers. We run a business, we run a house, we drop off the kids at school, we pick them up from school, we take care of the house, and we run a business. And I feel a huge breakdown of any false beliefs in the masculine's world about maybe a woman's place in the world. A lot of these masculines are very old school, and they live in these outdated beliefs from their parents. And I feel a lightning turn of events when it comes to this missed opportunity. If you notice, there's like lightning at her feet, and every time the divine feminine moves, it's like lightning strikes. So I kind of feel the blocks being removed. The blocks have been removed since that full moon. Normally we got the blocks like this, and she's kind of got the swords at the side raised. So she's ready for battle though. The blocks have been removed and the masculine's ready for battle. And I do feel there's been a lot of, you know, indulging in alcoholism when it comes to trying to mask the pain of this missed opportunity is what I'm feeling. Trying to manifest, how the hell do I come forward with that apology? So we're just going to get a couple last messages with the tarot, the Queen of Wands. So I feel definitely the Queen of Wands put that final nail in the coffin. It's almost like the Queen of Wands is ready to go to a funeral. So it's like she planned the divine masculine's funeral, the ego death. And so I feel, yeah, all defenses are dropped. I feel all kinds of negative energies coming towards the masculine when it comes to gaining that higher perspective. So death to the old, birth of the new for sure. And there's that, you know, the masculine's going through a period of divine punishment to gain that enlightenment, to gain that expansion when it comes to these higher unions, these infinite divine unions, these infinite connections. And the feminine, I feel, has a lot of ancestral protection. And the feminine also saw the beast, you know, inside the masculine and still loved his entire being. So I feel the masculine's getting schooled by the divine. And, you know, we made these commitments a very long time ago, and the twins together have this youthful, childlike vibrancy. It is a connection that makes you feel alive again, like makes you feel youthful, innocent, and like a child before we were traumatized kind of energy. And so I feel getting ready to embrace this higher study, this esoteric study with the divine feminine. And I also feel maybe even some of these masculines have a father figure on the other side, encouraging them to come forward, you know, for these higher commitments, because we're here for those communal efforts. And I feel, yeah, there's likely a divine feminine here who is a card reader who has predicted a lot of these energies. And I see the gavel on the floor. So it's like that final judgment day energy. The gavel's been put down, and the masculines had to go within and really learn this lesson. You know, a lot of these masculines were a little Knight of Wands, and they you know, spread their wand all over town with all kinds of karmic energies, and that's not for everybody. But they've kind of had to go within and learn the lesson of, you know, lack of reciprocity, non-committal, fear of committal, and all of the betrayal that this caused this connection. And this is not just this life. This is going back to all of the past timelines from our past lives, and really learning that lesson, turning it into growth, expansion, and wisdom. And I kind of feel when it comes to, you know, these foundations, these family legacies, and what we're here to bring forward for the future, it's about bringing balance back into all of these situations. we're not here to give to more than one. We're here to create those healthy, committed, reciprocal, loyal partnerships. And I feel a rebalancing as the feminine's heart comes into perfect alignment, perfect balance. All of these predictions come full circle. Another energy of a tarot card reader. So many of the divine feminines, we are healers, we are readers, we are here to help others along the journey, find, the balance in their life. And I feel the masculine wants to come in and work on this, but he's still withholding due to the fact that, he's going to have to come forward and admit all of the lies. And he's been holding everything tied to his chest. And I don't think anyone's fully aware of just how deceptive the masculine's been. And I also feel, like a third eye activation since that Scorpio full moon eclipse. If you look at like the Eye of Horus and then the two swords stabbing into the eye. So like a very painful third eye activation is what I'm feeling when it comes to the crossroads energy and needing to step forward on the healing path with the divine feminine, healing Aquarius. So shedding the old to bring in the new when it comes to bringing forward an offer to the divine feminine. We have the Magician, the Knight of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. And below the Nine of Pentacles is the Empress with the Death card. So something about timing. The energy really is fertile for these unions to start progressing. And I feel, trying to manifest how to come forward with a proper apology. And I feel a lot is being illuminated in the higher chakras. And you notice the two flames. So that's feeling like crossroads energy again. So definitely decision time. His sword is down. So, there's not really been any communication at this point in time as the masculine thinks about how do I come forward, because, I got a lot I got to get off of my chest, a lot of lies, a lot of secrets I got to get off of my chest. And I feel this is the death of all of these karmic relationships. The divine feminine looks like, she's in a white gown of purification on the horse, and the divine masculine in the shadows, and she's kind of taking one last look back. Are you coming forward with an offer or not? Because, a lot of us are meeting people, new soul contracts, new potential offers. And I feel that is what is making the masculine hopeless when it comes to having victory with the divine feminine. But I think there's going to be a lot of communication. You might even have that third-party karmic reaching out and wanting to cause an argument or wanting to talk to you about this, but definitely needing to choose between two. And this was definitely a big, big lesson, and I feel it's weighed heavy for a long time. So it's like healing that inner mother wound with the Chiron aspect coming out with the Nine of Wands and the Ten of Wands, and releasing that final burden for that brand new beginning. So healing a deep-seated mother wound, really like looking at it really, really close, if you notice with like the telescope. So really examining in depth and extricating the pain of a mother wound, I feel, with the Venus conjunct Chiron aspect. So going into that core wound, feeling it. Why do I not feel worthy of committed partnership? Why do I fear actually committing to a woman? And I know from my own journey, my counterpart was married and had 3 children with another woman, but she cheated on him. And so he ended up turning into the cheater that cheated on him and self-sabotaged all of these other relationships that he's had since that divorce. So it's going into that core wound. Why don't I trust women? Why don't I feel stable in connections? Why do I feel the need to have that wandering eye look elsewhere and, have multiple women at once to make me feel like I have a sense of self-worth? So I feel really examining that wound so that burden can finally be laid down. And it's like the energy of knowing he's kind of got to just throw all the cards up in the air and take that leap of faith, because, he can't keep living in this state of grief, depression, guilt, shame. Shame is a big one, and drinking the shame and the guilt away, because it doesn't go away if we are not willing to look at it. So if the masculine's to walk away from all of the guilt and the shame and the regret. We kind of have to talk about it. We kind of have to have that conversation. So walking away, but analyzing it and really taking a deep look at it. And I feel a lot of these masculines have been drinking a lot, getting drunk to mask the pain when it comes to these unions. So a lot is alchemizing. That's that Kundalini energy I felt the other day. So, you know, the activation, the blending of the masculine and the feminine and uniting as that, you know, solid partnership. So feel a lot is being healed, and it's kind of a death to the old, a birth of the new when it comes to these unions. So definitely going through a lot of disillusioned energy, facing that dragon. Do you see the dragon on the card? A lot of us would be shown the vision of the dragon, and that is the activation of the karma. And so looking at all of these past options, all of these past decisions, and we got like a heart growing flowers in the one cup. And it's like the breakdown of the falsities in order for this heart expansion to come forward. There's a snake, there's a castle, there's an airplane, and the dragon. So I feel an extreme disillusioned energy when it comes to the third eye activation in order to move things forward. So things are moving forward, but things will not move forward until that face-to-face, one-on-one conversation kind of comes full circle. So he's going to have to come forward with the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and he knows it, if he wants to be able to work together with the divine feminine. So although this is the wheel, it's kind of got like the Three of Pentacles in the center. So I do think get ready for an offer. I feel the masculine is definitely obsessed at this point in time, facing all of his inner demons, all of his inner shadow work when it comes to, you know, choosing to rise. It's like, oh my God, the Wizard of Oz. So it's like, you know, the karmic really has thrown the masculine for a loop. I think ding dong, the witch is dead and gone at this point in time, and the masculine is getting ready to, you know, boss up, level up. But he's got to work through these obsessive thought patterns first when it comes to bringing forward an offer. He knows it's going to take like a huge release of all of the lies, all of the deception. So let's get a couple last messages from Spirit. I'm not really going to call out any zodiac signs because it doesn't really matter when it comes to these connections. Big lesson in family values is what I feel. And I do feel, you know, a lot of the divine feminine still are madly in love with the masculine. It's not a connection we can completely sever. So I feel he knows the divine feminine and his true soul family can offer him the support that he is seeking. And I do feel the relationship he's been in really has been there, put in place to serve him a valuable lesson about himself, breaking down the ego and any ego-based fears. So what the masculine's been through definitely is only going to make him stronger. And I do feel we're in the home stretch. I do feel the worst is finally over. And then double whammy, divine masculine. You need to get honest about what is going on. You need to get honest with yourself about what is going on. My one deck where I got two of the same cards. So I also feel the feminine needs to get honest with herself about what is going on. Do you really want your counterpart back? Or do you want to meet somebody new? We're kind of needing to make that decision because we do feel like, it feels like we have our free will back to go our own way. So I kind of feel a lot of the feminines are being asked to also take a step back. We give, we pour our love into everybody else. And sometimes we got to remember to pour some love into ourselves. So the masculine is definitely obsessing, overthinking the situation, playing into all of these obsessive thought patterns, which really aren't serving him. And he's really needing to try a different approach when it comes to being emotionally vulnerable. And I think a lot of these masculines are told not to show emotions, not to cry, not to be vulnerable. And that was their strength, when in actuality, emotional vulnerability is a deep strength. So I think a lot of the masculines are learning to get to know themselves as a spiritual being, releasing all of this dissatisfaction out of their lives, walking away from this emotional discontentment, and whoever has been depleting them in any areas of their life, overcoming challenges and obstacles without a doubt before taking that time to reconnect with the feminine in the heart space. So he's going to have to purify his energy and break away from all of these toxic situations, that toxic feminine energy, and anything that isn't serving our twin soul mission or his highest good. So a lot has been illuminated when it comes to these false people in his life that are serving there as a test. And so a lot of karmic exposure, and there's that honesty. Honesty, divine masculine, honesty. The worst truth is always better than the best lie. The worst truth is always better than a lie. And I think a big lesson in accountability, integrity, honesty for the divine masculine, and learning a big lesson. I think they've gone back and forth in that karmic contract several times over, and that relationship isn't lasting because it's not meant to last. And so a huge release. And divine feminine, trust in your intuition. Trust in that situation. We are sensing everything going on. Many of us receive the prophetic visions and we get the downloads as to what we are sensing, and we are spot on. So the masculine shifting perspectives, looking at things from your point of view, and preparing to process all of these deep emotions. So get ready. I think when that conversation comes, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be heavy, but we kind of got to process this, and we got to go into that wound one more time in order to bring that healing and that nourishment back into these connections, in order to kind of like restore our vitality and our joy for life again. So that's what I got for Divine Masculine check-in, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading, I do encourage you to check out that description box below, guys. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.